Allied Command, the school known as Splendid. Now that the outposts the Allied community set up to establish a front line have fallen, this is the only place that has any real fighting capabilities. There are other small settlements that make up the Allied communities, but all of them are small and not well fortified, and all their fighters have already been used up. If Splendid falls, everything falls. Victoria plays songs on her guitar as the day goes by. Many more people are gathering to listen to her, more than usual. People are flooding in from all over. Nobody is saying anything. But even the kids, Jim Bob, they know something isn't right. The infirmary is full of patients, many of them having wounds from shrapnel as well as bullets. People move all around the base frantically, many of them with looks of fear and panic on their faces. Those who are capable have been setting up defenses all day. Additional sandbags, both inside and outside the walls. The people are getting ready to make their last stand. Victoria sits in a chair in the middle of the atrium. Her music echoes through the halls, creating a feeling of hope among the chaos. Next to her is a spiral staircase, which leads up to the second floor. People lean over the banisters above her, looking down as they listen to her music. The crowd around her is mainly made up of wounded from the front. Many of them sit on mattresses or sleeping bags, which they brought with them. These men are considered low-priority wounded, and therefore haven't been given a bed to make sure there is enough room for the seriously wounded. Jim Bob sits right at the front. The twins, usually mesmerized by the music, are getting distracted and agitated by all the chaos in the base today. Vic tries her best to keep them distracted with her music. Jessica sits behind the children, her hand on her belly. It's big. She looks like she could even give birth tonight. Her pistol lays next to her. She's still a terrible shot, but she has some pretty badass frying pans tucked away in the kitchen. They won't help much against the karenites, though. Victoria continues to play songs for the whole day. Even though she gets tired, she knows that these people need this, so she carries on. The day is almost over, maybe an hour or less before sunset. As Vic is in the middle of her song, she is interrupted by one of the boys. "Ew," calls out Jim, or Bob, one of them. His hand is dripping with some kind of liquid. Jessica lies behind them and yells out.
"Oh God! My water broke! The baby's coming!"
Victoria puts her guitar down and rushes over to Jessica. A few of the men in the crowd stand up and gather around her. Victoria crouches down next to Jessica and grabs her hand. Jessica moans in pain.
"Oh God! It's coming! Why does it have to be today?"
Hey, just relax. Take some deep breaths.
"Here, you should use this." One of the men in the crowd offers their mattress for Jessica to lay on. He slides it over the floor next to her.
Thank you.
Vic says, relieved that some of the bystanders can help and not just watch.
Help me lift her.
They gently lift Jessica up and place her onto the mattress so she can be more comfortable. Everyone is startled as a loud screech from the old-school speaker systems pierce everyone's eardrums. The captain's voice blares over the speakers. "Attention everyone! The karenites have been spotted to the north. They're approaching the base." Gasps are heard all around as everyone's fears become reality as the captain addresses the elephant in the room. "I'm ordering everyone who isn't in a hospital bed to take up arms and defend our home at any cost. This is our final stand. If Splendid falls, our other communities will be defenseless. We will hold the line here at all costs. Everybody swiftly moves to grab their weapons and take up firing positions. Only Vic, Jim Bob, and the man who gave the mattress stays with Jessica. I'm Matt, by the way, the man says, introducing himself. He's got a few bandages around his arms and waist, like most of the men here.
Matt the mattress man?
Vic chuckles. Matt laughs back, and then coughs, feeling pain where his wound is. People are moving all around them, some heading upstairs to get firing positions, some rushing outside.
Come on, we better move her before this room turns into a firefight.
Good luck getting in the infirmary, Matt remarks. Their beds are full. There's room in the kitchen, suggests Jim or Bob. It's quiet in there. Vic looks at Matt, thinking it's over. Matt looks back at her and shrugs.
All right, help me move her,
Vic says decisively. They both grab hold of the mattress and gently drag it over towards the kitchen. Outside, things are quiet, for now. Splendid is surrounded by a strong wall made of wood and concrete. So far, nothing has been able to breach it. But with the karenites' numbers, and if they bring their artillery as well, maybe the wall might fall. Several positions have been set up outside of the wall. Men hiding behind piles of sandbags. There's even a mounted machine gun by the front gate. The men check their weapons. Allied Command has distributed almost every single bullet they have stockpiled in order to hold out, so most of the men are fully loaded, with multiple extra magazines. The situation at the inner wall is similar. More men piled behind sandbags. Every window of the school has a man or two ready to shoot from. On the roof, snipers and lookouts. Among the soldiers on the roof is Private Barnett, watching through his binoculars. He has his walkie-talkie in his hand. A few minutes ago, he called it in. Lots of enemies, all heading this way. Now they have moved off, into the trees once again. It's hard to spot them. He continues to scan the area with his binoculars. The long silence is broken with a gunshot fired at the base. Suddenly, mayhem ensues as both sides start firing off rounds at each other like the world was ending. Large numbers of karenites are firing at the base from the tree line, and the Allied forces return fire. Barnett observes from the roof and relays the situation over the walkie. The snipers next to him pick their targets carefully and fire a few shots off as well. A few minutes of this fire exchange goes by, and things seem to be under control. The karenites seem to have taken some casualties, and little damage has been done on our side. Further back in the trees, a loud whistle sounds, followed by the roar of maybe 100 karenites charging for an assault. The ground thunders as they all charge towards Splendid. The swarms appear from the tree line and charge directly towards them. The Allies' shooting intensifies. The mounted machine gun by the gates fires at full auto, mowing down tons of enemies. Most of the karenites fall before they make it to the sandbags, but many of them made it. With bayonets attached, they begin stabbing people in their guts and throats. The men up on the wall and roof fire down, trying to get control of the situation. Most of the outer wall defenders are killed in the carnage. As soon as the last karenite falls, the first ones get back up again. Zombies. Not all of them, but at least 20 or 30 of the deceased get back up. The defenders up top start taking more precise shots to hit them in their heads. The mounted machine gun out front goes quiet, as the last of the outer wall defenders are overrun. Fortunately, the zombies have no way of breaching the wall. Several of them start bashing at the gate, but eventually they are all killed by the men shooting down on them, picking each one off with precise shots to the head. The sniper next to Barnett spots one last zombie rising from the spot where they were first killed, but before it gets to its feet, the sniper puts it down. "That was the first wave," the sniper remarks as he loads a fresh magazine into his rifle. The sun is starting to set, but it seems that Queen Karen is unwilling to wait till the next day to take out the last stronghold of the Allied communities. Just as calm starts to set, a loud bang is heard in the distance, followed by a whistle and then a large explosion. It lands just outside the wall, spewing body parts, blood and dust into the air. Everyone who is in the courtyard and up on the walls are covered as it all falls back to the ground. Another whistle as another shell lands, this one right on the wall, landing on live soldiers. Fresh blood and guts go flying. The wall crumbles. Not the whole wall, but there is enough rubble for people to climb over. Another shell lands inside the walls, right in the middle of the courtyard. Several men start screaming as the defenders are blown to pieces. In a panic, all of the men outside who aren't hit rush back inside. Barnett hears a faint, static voice coming over the walkie. "Attack imminent! They're coming!" Yeah, no shit, Barnett thinks to himself. Another whistle flies through the air. Barnett looks up to see one last shell heading right for the roof where he is. Boom. His body flies up into the air and he blacks out. Moments later, he feels his body crashing down onto the banisters on the second floor. His back slams onto the floor. He looks up. They blew a hole right in the roof.
Barnett!
Cries a voice nearby. He looks to his right and spots Victoria, crouched next to the window. Several other soldiers crowd around her, backs to the walls. Vic's face is the last thing Barnett sees. There are tears in her eyes, shock and horror on her face. Her home, her friends, all being blown to pieces, and nothing she can do to stop it. One of the men next to her aims his rifle and fires his shot into Barnett's head.